What's up, everybody? Thanks for listening to the Whatcast. Mike, we've had a bullshit episode. We've talked about hoaxes, but we've never covered the subject of obvious and known fakes.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is.
Because we've called bullshit on mysteries, but we haven't talked about obvious fakes that are intentional.
Right. And there's so many that are famous and well known, and
yeah,
maybe we've kind of avoided them out in our minds because they are fakes. And
yeah, probably that's probably the reason.
Yeah,
we've got enough shenanigans on the show. We don't need to go be digging up known shenanigans to add to our shenanigans.
Oh yeah,
shenanigan palooza over here.
Just wait till we do that St. Patrick's Day episode with Miss Kim.
Oh my God, I'm gonna be so drunk. I don't know if anybody remembers, but many moons ago, many years ago, we did a St. Patrick's Day episode, and we got really drunk, but nobody believed that we were drunk. So then the next year, we tried to outdo ourselves, and I got really drunk, and I called Mateo, and I passed out before
I could answer.
He answered. So we didn't do one again from that point on, but we're gonna bring it back next year. So look ahead to March, where we'll be getting drunk, and I don't know what we'll talk about. Well, we'll talk about something that's Irish related, I promise.
Yeah, I remember we were drinking over Skype like for an hour and a half before we started, and I remember drinking like myself sober. Like there's a point to where I just kind of like cold snapped out of it, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I was pretty drunk.
Yeah, that was hilarious. You're texting you for the second one. I'm calling you now. Okay. And then
then you answer nothing.
Yeah. I answered. It's no sound at all.
Yeah. I don't get drunk very often, guys. So, you know, when I go to tie one on, if I'm really trying to tie one on, I'm bound to get sloppy. I'm usually a very responsible drinker, and like I once I start getting a buzz, I'm like, all right, I'm good. But yeah, for those episodes, I felt like I had a point to prove. I had to be drunk. I got way too drunk.
Well,
yeah. So anyway, that's what you have to look forward to next year. Just me being a goddamn disgrace.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of when you think about known hoaxes? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The surgeon's photo.
Dude, I can't believe you said that. I was going to say, unfortunately, it's the Loch Ness Monster. That surgeon's photo killed it for me.
Yeah, because it was growing up as a kid, like that was the iconic image. And then when you find out it was all a hoax perpetrated by this fucking asshole surgeon, it's just depressing.
Yeah, it wasn't just the image. It was the proof. At long last, at least one of these things existed. There it is, as clear as day in a photo. Even now, looking at that photo, knowing it was, some molded shape on top of a remote control boat, it's still such a cool, impressive photo. Like most of the fakes don't come out that good.
Now that you know it's a fake, though, and you look at the ripples around it, you can tell it's fucking tiny.
Yeah.
But without having that as context, the ripples didn't seem so obvious.
Do you ever do that when you watch movies? When you happen to notice when they're using a miniature set and it just ruins it for you? Like I can't stop.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like full in it, and then an explosion will happen. You'll be like, that was a miniature house. That wasn't real. Fuck you. That being said, I prefer that over CGI explosions any day.
Oh, yeah. Modern sound effects, I'm cool with. I love that shit. But we can use some puppets.
Oh, way better than old sound effects.
Yeah. Well, one of the most famous known hoaxes is the famous Fiji Mermaid, which doing research on this, I find that they don't call it a hoax too much.
Really?
Yeah, there's a different word for what this is.
What do they call it?
A humbug.
A humbug?
Yes. A hoax is meant to deceive, cause confusion, or scare people. But a humbug is something that's meant to be done in jest, to causes no harm, maybe to entertain or just become a spectacle.
Interesting.
Yeah. But we all know the Fiji Mermaid. We all love her. That papery leathered skin and those passionately pointed teeth. But if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'll tell you about the Fiji Mermaid. She is a weird 3-foot-long half fish, what appears to be some sort of mini human, complete with a torso from the navel up, with arms, an ugly mug, and your grandma's haircut. But you've probably seen it in books, stuff like Ripley's Believe It or Not. I mean, it's in like everything when you look up this stuff, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they even in House of a Thousand Corpses, they even made their own version of it, called it Fish Boy.
Is there?
Oh, you haven't seen it? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's so do you know anything about the movie?
No, but please do tell.
Right. So there's a roadside attraction called Captain Spaulding's, and he's got the horror or serial killer ride. I don't know. I can't remember. But basically it's this ride where you go through and it's all serial killer exhibits with like animatronics.
Oh wow.
It's it's pretty neat. But he in his shop he's got like all these weird oddities like the Fiji Mermaid type thing and just like all this weird creepy shit. But you find out throughout as the movie goes on that he's in cahoots with this family, and one of the members of the family captures this dude, and they end up killing him and cutting him in half, and they fuse his body to a fish. His upper torso is fused to a fish for the lower half, so he becomes Fish Boy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Changing lives.
Yeah. Enriching America's youth.
Yeah. But even at a quick glance, you can clearly see in all these photos of this thing, and there's plenty, that it's just a bad Frankenstein taxidermy job. Even worse than the hodag.
Wait a second. You are not implying that the hodag is a bad taxidermy job.
Maybe not. I think it's a mummified bulldog, maybe? That thing.
How dare you? How dare you say that it's anything other than a mythical beast from the Lumberwoods? I will not listen to anything that states otherwise, Mateo.
It looks like a bad piñata.
Oh, you skeptical son of a bitch.
It's so obviously fake, but as dumb as it sounds, seeing the mermaid for the first time when I was a kid had a rather profound impact on me as far as cryptozoology went. For one, I was shocked that this could be considered a real creature at any point by anybody. After doing research, I don't know if anybody really believed that it was real, but I may have been young and naive then, but I couldn't believe that people could be that dumb. Even like tales of full-size, bare-breasted sea beauties was more believable than this little 3-foot thing. Like even, it's half person. There's no like miniature people like that come from the ocean. So it's everything about it was.
It's because it was a baby, Mateo.
Oh, that's sad. A baby.
Yeah,
mermaid.
They fucking killed a baby mermaid. It's not a full-grown mermaid.
Well, like thinking like that led to thoughts like, is this cryptozoology stuff all bullshit? If people are gonna, why would anyone possibly want to lie to the whole human race about discovering a previously unknown creature outside of the realm of normal animals? And if this is the physical proof that cryptozoology had to offer, is it worth like continuing to study that shit? But it made me realize that some people didn't want stuff like this to be real. And there's a lot of people who don't even give stuff like this being a possibility any thought at all. Did seeing the original pictures of the Fiji Mermaid boggle you at all, or were you like a normal kid who laughed and said that shit's bullshit and moved on with your life?
From what I can remember, when I first saw it, I thought that it looked like a monkey on a fish body.
Ooh.
Which is what it is. So, but it really does look like a monkey.
That's interesting that you say that, because I after researching this, I guess the story from where this thing was found is that it's half of a monkey sewed to a fish.
Yeah.
But that may only be partly true.
Really?
Yeah, even faker than that. But there's been tons of Fiji Mermaid remakes. You see it in TV shows, movies. It's something that, it's a famous thing, just like the surgeon's photo, like an image. You see it. That's a Fiji Mermaid. It transcended being the Fiji Mermaid. There's so many remakes that are so different from the original, but just a basic construction of a fish lower half and like a shitty mummified monkey body as the upper half it's a Fiji Mermaid. But she's called the Fiji Mermaid because that's where she's from. They say that she was found tangled in the fishing nets of Japanese sea masters off the coast of Fiji. And in 1822, an American sailor by the name of Samuel Barrett Eads bought the mermaid from a Japanese fisherman for $6,000 using his ship's finances. Now, that's 1822. I went and did a little internet calculating thing. That's $140,000 in today's money.
Wow. That's crazy.
Do you think that this Eads' willingness to pay that much for this thing is a sign that he believed that he had an actual mermaid?
Or he's just a rich guy who doesn't know, who has more money than he knows what to do with. And he's like, well, the chances there, might as well try it out.
I'd say that if he used his own money, but he used the money that was budget for the boats shit that it needed. But I mean, I in 1822, if you use that much money that belonged to the ship, I'm sure you'd get in fucking trouble.
Yeah, likely.
I don't think he was a captain or anybody in charge or anything like that.
Oh, shit. Well, then he must have been really confident.
Right.
If he's willing to put a ship that he doesn't even own on the line.
Yeah. But he took the mermaid home to Boston and put it on display in a local coffee house. And it became wildly popular as hundreds of people a day would come and pay a penny to see what her original name was, the Remarkable Stuffed Mermaid. As times do, times got hard, and in January of 1822, people stopped coming to see the mermaid, and business slowed down so much that the entire coffee shop closed down. Eads packed away the old mermaid and left her in storage for 20 years until he died. His son inherited the mermaid and quickly sold it off. Why, I don't know. You can make it fun in your mind like I did and pretend the son had like a lifelong soulful hatred for the mermaid and got it out of his life.
He always loved it more than he loved me. Fuck you, mermaid. Fuck you. That was supposed to be my boat money. I hate you.
But in 1842, he ended up selling it to a man who worked for the Boston Museum named Moses Kimball. Moses had a ton of friends and colleagues he wanted to show this thing to, but the one he picked is why we know about it today. Moses headed to New York and took the mermaid right to his old homie, P.T. Barnum. Are you familiar with P.T. Barnum and his elephant
of
torturing?
Barnum and Bailey Circus fame? The same guy who put the bounty on Champ?
Sounds like him. But Moses wanted to make a mermaid exhibit with Barnum. And although Barnum didn't think it was real, he had recently purchased a museum there in New York, and he was sure that it would draw large crowds and along with them their money. New animal species were being discovered all over the place at this time, so there's a good chance that people would buy that this could possibly be a mermaid, or if not, a species that nobody's seen before. So they both agreed. Barnum would lease the mermaid from Moses for $12 a week. Again, this is not chump change. Adjusted, that's almost $300 a week. And doing some reading, the average wage, and I'm talking about for not laborers, I mean people who had good jobs, printers and masonry work people, not that type of level, like architects and stuff like that. People who designed these things, they were making $1 an hour. So this is, yeah, $300 a week to rent this thing out. I mean, we know it's fake. We know they're going to use this to make money, but god damn, this thing's already has a huge investment in it.
Yeah, that's nuts. So at this point in time, it was still being posed as an authentic mermaid.
Yes, I mean it had been 20 years since Eads had died, so I mean it went directly into Moses's hands. So they're going to represent this thing as being real, and they wanted to do this exhibit, and that's exactly what they did. But Barnum did so in true Barnum fashion. He first sent letters to newspapers pretending to be a different person in each one, even going as far to have these letters sent from different places, like Alabama and South Carolina, and told them to keep an eye out for a guy named Dr. Griffin from London and his amazing collection of bizarre and unknown creatures. He would be coming to Philly soon, and they had seen his collection and said it was legit, and he indeed had some freaky shit in his collection. Barnum then waited a few months and had one of his homies, a guy named Levi Lyman, show up in Philadelphia and play this dude, Dr. Griffin. The platypus had recently been discovered, and almost no one had seen one at this point, so PT had him bring one along with him to show off to an already waiting field of press, like as a small showing of his vast collection. He then had Griffin mention to the press that he had recently come into possession of an actual mermaid. He was looking for a place to exhibit this freak show. Now with the press interested in seeing an actual goddamn mermaid, he traveled to New York and held a small, almost private to the press exhibit showing off the mermaid for 5 days.
Oh, that sneaky motherfucker. Classic businessman.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets even better. So this led the press to go into a frenzy and start printing pictures of this fucking mermaid on all the papers all over the East Coast. So now everybody wanted to come see this mermaid. So Barnum basically got hashtag freaky animals trending before he sent a fake doctor somewhere. And after 5 days, Barnum announced with the doctor that the only place you can see this mermaid was at his new museum. He created fake hype, then fake authenticity, and then exclusivity. That's pretty fucking genius.
Yeah, it really is. Dude, oh my God.
Yeah.
The amount, and back then you gotta remember, this was before mass media. So like everything was all printed or word of mouth.
Yeah, everything's super localized.
Yeah. And if you were able to really draw the attention, it really would become like a local event. You know, you'd have everybody line up just to see what all the fuss was about.
I mean, I would have loved to have been alive at this time. I think we would have had so much fun traveling to places to see things like this.
Oh my God, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. But in 1959, Barnum took that baby on the road to London, where again, scores of people would come pay to see it. When he returned, the mermaid went back to Moses's museum in Boston, where it remained until his death, where it was then donated to Harvard University's Peabody Museum, where you can see it today.
The first one, the original?
There's debate of that. The original one was very well written about in Barnum's autobiography, and he talks about the position that it's in. And the one that they have in the Peabody Museum is definitely not in that position. It doesn't look as old as it should be. It doesn't look repaired. It just looks like a different mermaid. They ended up doing some x-rays on this thing, and they found that it was made of paper mache, some bone fragments and fish scales, and there's even armature inside of the core of this thing. If you don't know what that is, anybody listening, that's just like a metal frame that you'd start sculpting on to get started, get your general shape down, have it be supported. So, I mean, it's 100% fake, but though it's interesting that the one that they have and the one they're presenting is not the real one.
So maybe the real one was real, Mateo.
Yeah, what if they like put it in a batch of like spring
the
water?
Smithsonian took it and it's hiding with the giant skeletons.
They got it in like a hydro tank and they brought it back to life, like Luke.
Yeah, just throw it in back the tank.
That's the story of the Fiji Mermaid. And like I said, you can Google Fiji Mermaid image and there'll be tons of different ones. I watched a few YouTube videos about it, and there's actually one from the Peabody Museum that I'll put in the playlist on YouTube, and they show you the one that they have and they talk about it. They actually had a video from Ripley's Believe It or Not, and they have their own Fiji Mermaid, and they all claim for it to be that it's the original Fiji Mermaid. They actually have a centaur skeleton there, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. It has a name. They said that a big, huge box just showed up there one day, and they opened it, and it's a half of a horse with a human torso coming out of it. And it came with a story of, where it came from and all that cool shit. But maybe we'll do a show about centaurs, and I'll get more into that one.
I never heard of that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll send the video to you. I'll put all the videos in the show notes. I saw a video, this guy presenting it at the end said, I have a fucking Fiji Mermaid, and showed a Fiji Mermaid that he bought. There's a company that sells them. It was in a cool, like a glass domey bubble.
So if the body is actually like, is the skin real, or is that all synthetic skin made to look real?
I don't know. I suspect it to be some type of hide or maybe leather or something like that.
Oh, okay.
If it's lasting.
What about the fish body? Is that an actual fish at least?
I think it's hide with scales put onto it, and it's stuffed with paper mache.
Oh, you bastards! It's not even a real fish.
No, that thing. Imagine how terrible shape that thing would be in after even like 5 years, taxidermied or not. That thing's traveling around as much as they're saying it is, and being exposed as much as they're saying it is. I don't think that thing would have lasted that long at all. But who knows? Maybe it sitting in storage for 20 years helped it stay so preserved for Barnum and Moses to do their magic with it.
Maybe. Did you ever hear about I think it was the Convie Island mermaid?
No.
I believe it's Convie Island. And it, for some reason, this just occurred to me. Otherwise, I would have looked it up before the show. But it was this figure that was found on the beach, and it was a humanoid figure. I think it was like between 2 and 3 feet long, and it looked humanoid, but also fish-like. And it wasn't a mermaid exactly, like where you'd picture a humanoid torso and a fish tail. This actually had legs, and its feet were horseshoe-shaped flippers that they were lined with small claws. And its hands were webbed, and it had like a fish face. And when it was found, they went to call experts in, and by the time people arrived, it had washed back out to sea. But like a year later, a similar thing washed up again.
Really?
Yeah, but again, they weren't able to get any samples of it before it was washed away or taken by another animal. I can't remember the exact details of it.
When was this? Do you remember?
I don't.
Damn.
It was seriously something that just popped into my head as we were going over this. I had forgotten all about it. I read about this long time ago, probably close to 20 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll cover washed up creatures, and we'll cover that in Montauk again.
Let me just see if I can find it really. I think I probably got the name wrong, because all that's coming up is Coney Island Mermaid Parade.
Same
which
here.
Which is not at all what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it came up with a very old lady with large breasts and a bra. It's like, nope, not it.
Yeah. No, that's not at all.
Let me see. I'm going to type humanoid washes up on 21. Ew, humanoid. Oh no, this video fucking fucks me up, dude. Ugh, I hate this video, dude. I'm sending it to you.
What video?
I'm sending it to you on your phone. This one freaks me out.
What is it?
Bizarre humanoid sea creature found on Chinese beach. I remember when I saw this and I was like, barf, dude, kill it with fucking fire. This shit freaks me out. Like Basket Case, the movie Basket Case when I was a kid, it totally freaked me out. Ugh. I don't even want to know what this is. It has 2 eyeballs, dude. This made me want to throw up and kill myself.
Made me want to throw up and kill myself. It's a fucking gingerbread man.
It's moving, dude.
Is it though?
Look at its flipper feet things.
Yeah, but I mean, puppets can do shit like that too.
True.
This thing is bullshit.
He put it so close to his face, dude.
It's a goddamn gingerbread man that just got really soggy and he pulled him out of a puddle.
He saved his life. It's a rescue video.
Yeah. And he took it home and him and his family ate it. So much for the rescue.
Gross, dude. Ugh. It looks like somebody threw up oatmeal and it became alive.
You know, it really looks like a soggy fucking biscuit is what it looks like.
I'm going to vomit. Oh, gross. That thing is hideous. Ugh.
Yeah, I hate it. Somebody should fucking just eat it already.
You really want somebody to eat that thing, huh?
Yeah, that's a lot of cookie or biscuit. Just eat it, man. Don't let it go to waste.
There's so many times when you look up these stories and you see these weird fucking animals and they have like 2 seconds of footage of it that's been caught at sea. More often than not,
it's all bullshit. If it's 2 seconds long, it's bullshit, or it's something that is a normal sea creature that some asshole just doesn't know about. Like, oh my god, what's this? It's a fucking super venomous sea slug. Get the fuck away, you moron.
That's true, but most of the time they just eat it.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, the world is your buffet, Mateo.
Yeah, maybe I'm out of the loop. Just find something that's horrifically monstrous. You should just eat it.
Eat it, yeah. And also, second to that is if you're in a grocery store, make sure you lick the top of the ice cream. Remember when that was a thing?
No, I don't.
Oh God, yeah, that was like a fucking, I don't know if it was TikTok or Vine or whatever, but it was like some internet fad where stupid fuck kids would go into stores, take the top off of an ice cream container, lick it, put it back, and then put it back in the fucking thing.
Dude, see?
Yeah.
I'm not meant for this world.
Me neither, man. Like, how is that for one? What do you get from that? Like, you're just, oh God.
You get a TikTok video. Doing that's worth a TikTok video.
Yeah, I fear for our world.
Yeah, if I saw some kid doing that, and I said kid, I don't care if it's a kid, I would John Jones fucking knee kick that motherfucker so fast, then I would go to jail.
He would get a headlock forehead punch. I'm not going super violent. I'm just headlock forehead punch. We'll call it a day, you fucking moron.
So what other famous fakes are there, Mike?
Well, I got one for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember a man by the name of Dave Coulier?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember a show that a man named Dave Coulier was on called America's Funniest People?
It was my bread and butter, my air and water when I was a kid.
All right, cool. So then it'll be no surprise to you that I'm talking about Dave Coulier as my fake creature. Because what you may not know is that Dave Coulier is not a real person. This is all a conspiracy to make you think, really, really think hard. And you'll think, yeah, Dave Coulier was Uncle Joey. No, he wasn't.
No.
It's a common misconception. It's a completely unrelated guy by the name of Dave Coulier, and you guys you thought it was Dave Coulier this whole time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that's not the case. No. So the reason I bring up Dave Coulier is because on this show and I apologize for any of our non-American listeners who probably have no idea what America's Funniest People was. you may be aware of a related show called America's Funniest Home Videos, which was basically little kids hitting baseballs into their father's nuts for a half hour every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
But shortly after that show started, another show started called America's Funniest People. And I remember a lot of it was like sketches that people would film and send in. I don't remember. Was it like comedians as well? I don't really remember exactly what it was.
It had like natural funny home videos, but it had some where people were trying too hard sprinkled in, where they allowed them some leeway to do something funny instead of catching something funny that happened, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. That was the early 90s. So forgive me if I don't remember exactly. It's been a long time. But the one thing I do very much remember about this show was the ongoing character called, what the hell was his name?
Dave Coulier?
It was Dave Coulier. Oh, I remember. He was Jack Ching Bada Bing.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. Remember that shit?
You want to hear something even dumber?
Yeah, I do.
I used that name and I didn't even know it was bad.
What?
Yeah, like if somebody says a name on TV, I'll just say it just like their exact same cadence, but instead of saying their name, I'll say Jack Bing Bada Bing.
Yeah, that was the name of this Jackalope character.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But
the human mind is fucking stupid.
Right? Yeah. But he would get up basically the whole premise of all the sketches were that this Jackalope would prank people or do, stupid shit like skateboard and things.
I'm sorry. Can we just notice the premise of this segment? It's a jackalope that pranks people.
Yeah. And like it wears different costumes, and the only thing that ever remains the same is that it's a rabbit with fucking antlers.
It's when Dave Coulier thought it was really cool that he could do the Elmo voice. He thought he was the only person in the world.
No, it wasn't the Elmo voice. It was he used it for a woodchuck in Full House.
Right.
Yeah, but it was You guys just look it up. Look up Jack Ching Bada Bing or Jackalope, America's Funniest People, and watch the stupidity.
I'll find it and put it in the YouTube show notes playlist.
Oh yeah, for people that don't know, we do have a playlist on YouTube where we put all the videos that we reference in the show. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go do all those YouTube-y things.
You don't have to. We don't make any money off of it, but
we don't. But it's there for your convenience.
Yeah, even if there's source stuff that we watch and get information from, not just videos. Mind you, we second source stuff and don't just make shows off YouTube shit, but stuff that's relevant, everything that goes there. I remember when we did the show about the sites in Egypt, and I told you that they had that, I don't know, where you can move your phone around and kind of wander around with it, video, like tour of the ruins, that's in there. All that stuff's in there.
So, if you really want to see Jack Ching Bada Bing, but don't want to search for it, just go to our YouTube channel and look there.
I'll do it for you because
He'll do it for you. He's already done it. By the time you're hearing this, it's already been done. It's there. It's waiting for you. Just go click on it. You want to.
Jack Ching Bada Bing it up.
Yeah, just stop listening to the show altogether and just go watch Dave Coulier from the early 90s.
Yeah, and then come back to the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, if you're still alive from your guts busting with laughter. I mean, we survived it because we were kids. We were more resilient. But, you go in now, whew, I don't know, man. Go at your own risk. I'll say that.
Yeah, you Bill Burr fans might not like the comedy notes of Dave Coulier in 1990.
So for all those that survived the gut busting, I'm going to talk about the modern American origin of the beast known as the jackalope.
I got to be honest. I had never really heard of a jackalope until America's Funniest People. And when I saw that,
same with me.
Really?
Yeah. I had no idea. I thought it was something created for the show.
Yeah, so when I saw it in cryptozoology again, I was like, what is this fake bullshit?
Dave Coulier, you got me again, you son of a bitch.
Get out of my world.
Why are you ruining my life? But the modern, I want to stress modern American because I'll be talking about other variants later, but the modern American origin of the jackalope centers on this guy named Douglas Herrick. And in 1932, Dougie and his brother went on a hunting trip. They were hunting jackrabbits, and they came back. They had a particularly decent looking specimen that he wanted to stuff. He when he was in high school, he learned the art of taxidermy and had this particular rabbit that he wanted to stuff and mount. So he just threw it on the table in the shop, and it just happened to land next to this set of antlers. So as he's looking down at this dead rabbit and these antlers, a thought occurs to him like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I mounted this rabbit's head on a plaque and grafted the antlers to its head? So with this thought in mind, he actually did that. He stuffed and mounted the head and was able to graft the antlers onto the skull. And a local business owner, the owner of the Labonte Hotel in Douglas, Wyoming, actually bought the head for $10. And
damn, what year is this?
1932.
Okay, well, it's still $10.
Yeah.
That's fucking legit.
I mean, it's no Fiji Mermaid.
No,
but decent amount of money. But the jackalope's head, this mounted head, became such a popular attraction in Douglas that tourists started to come in just to see it. And it became such a big tourist attraction that the Chamber of Commerce, I believe even to this day, they started selling jackalope hunting license to tourists. But the caveat being that the license is only good during jackalope hunting season, which lasts for 2 hours on one day. That day being June 31st. So for anyone who wasn't quick to pick up on that, June 31st does not exist. June only has 30 days. So they say the license is good only on June 31st from midnight until 2 a.m. The other requirement to purchasing a jackalope hunting license is that the hunter must have an IQ over 50, but they cannot have an IQ to exceed 72. So it's more like just like a silly tourist thing to do, like kind of like going to Ireland and kissing the Blarney Stone. Like it's just a thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Far less popular than the Blarney Stone, I'm sure, but go to fucking Wyoming, get it. I would get a jackalope hunting license. I'd have to play dumb. I'd be like, yes, I are stupid. Give me the thing.
Just talk super slow, and when they ask you something, just piss your pants. And then
no, because I got to show that I'm over 50 at least. So no, I've got to keep control of my bodily functions. But I'll talk slow. I'll use incorrect grammar.
Put your pants on backwards.
Put my pants, maybe drool just a little.
Yeah, leave one shoe untied.
Oh yeah. I'll get it, and I'll proudly that'll be my like the first thing in my wall. Instead of my license, it's going to be my jackalope hunting license right there for all to see.
What if you get your license, you actually get it, you go into a field on June 30th, and as it turns to the next day for a split second,
it becomes June 31st.
Yeah, and you're just like this blood-soaked hell world of these jackalopes screaming and eating people.
Oh my God.
It's just like a flash. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, it's enough to drive me mad.
Yeah.
And I just go run and jump off a cliff.
Yeah, it's like Event Horizon featuring jackalopes.
Yeah, no thank you. But the jackalope, while being a known hoax in Douglas, it still attracted tourists, and it became so popular that they ended up erecting an 8-foot-tall jackalope statue in Douglas, Wyoming.
Nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the original head that was made way back in the 30s was stolen from the hotel in 1977 because people suck and we can't have nice things because fucking assholes ruin it for everyone.
Yeah, some college kid wanted it in his dorm.
Yeah.
Some chick was drunk and took it down to play with it and broke it.
Yeah, and then they just kind of hid it under a bar stool and left.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Chet and Gracie. Fuck you both. But that's not the last that the jackalope was heard from in the Americas, obviously, because, we previously went on for about 20 minutes about Dave Coulier. So,
sorry.
The jackalope myth persisted. But the original creator, Douglas Herrick, he's known as being the one that first created this thing. But this guy named Frank English from South Dakota is the guy who really took it to the next level. In 1981, he retired from the Air Force and decided to start making jackalope heads. And since his retirement, he's sold thousands of these jackalope heads.
Nice.
And this Frank English guy is the sole supplier of jackalope heads for Cabela's.
Wow.
Yeah, this one dude makes all the jackalope heads for Cabela's.
He's killing a lot of rabbits.
Yeah, but rabbits fuck like rabbits, so
it's really
there's
not
no
a
shortage.
Problem.
Yeah. Hopefully he at least ate them and wasn't just killing them for their heads, but
yeah.
But the jackalope, because even though it started as a hoax, and I mean really it was never, since its inception in the 30s, it's never been thought of as being real, but there's a lot of like folk legends and tall tales that are told about the jackalopes, kind of to give them more of a character, I guess. But there's some cool things that are said about them. One being that you can entice a jackalope by offering it whiskey. They're said to be dangerous, so if you're hunting a jackalope, it's advised that you wear stovepipes on your legs so that your legs don't get gored by their antlers.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. Here, this kind of goes towards your 1 second jackalope hell world, but jackalopes can only breed during a lightning flash. But oftentimes their antlers get in the way.
Oh.
So they try to, you've got a very brief moment during that lightning flash, and if you don't position it just right, the antlers get tangled and, no fucking. Sorry.
That's why they're always pissed and dangerous.
Yeah, probably. That's why they're trying to gore people. Like, you son of a bitch.
Maybe he's not trying to gore anything.
Yeah. Maybe he's just trying to hump your leg and his antlers get in the way.
Yeah, he's like, see, I can't help it.
One of my favorite things that are attributed to them is that they can intimidate or they can imitate human voices.
Ooh, I've never heard that.
There's stories that claim that back in the Old West, cowboys would sit around campfires and sing, and they would hear jackalopes mimicking their songs. But sometimes the jackalopes would sing along to the song, but when they did, they would always sing in a tenor voice.
Huh. That's weird. That's oddly specific.
Yeah.
I wonder what was happening. I mean, if it's not a total bullshit campfire story, like what was happening for them to narrow that down to it being the jackalope?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're all joking. Oh, it's a jackalope. Meanwhile, it's fucking skinwalkers creeping in, ready to eat their
what
faces.
was really going on there?
Just a bunch of parrots, that's all. Bunch of parrots that got loose on the prairie.
Those prairie parrots.
But even though the modern American jackalope is, relatively new, less than 100 years. There are older depictions of jackalope and jackalope-like creatures that are seen in artwork and in folklore and legends. There was a painting from 13th century Persia that depicts a rabbit with a single horn, like a unicorn rabbit. And there's not really any context to that, so I don't really know what the deal with that is, but maybe someone just really liked rabbits and was like, wouldn't it be cool if a rabbit was a unicorn? And they did that. But in medieval Renaissance folklore in Bavaria, there's a creature known as the Walpa Ringer, and it's said to inhabit the alpine forests in Bavaria, and it's depicted as typically a rabbit with antlers and wings and fangs, but it's not giant or anything.
I feel like I've seen that thing more than I've seen the traditional jackalope, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, there's some weird depictions of that too, because there's some that give it like a rabbit's head, but it'll have like a bird beak.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's weird. But most it's typically depicted as a rabbit with antlers, wings, and fangs.
Yeah, for some reason, when I think back to seeing pictures at jackalopes, they've always had fangs. So maybe I was seeing that other one instead.
Well, there's another creature in German folklore called the Rasselbach, and this inhabits the Thuringian forests and the Harz Mountains, according to legend. But this thing has the head and body of a rabbit, the antlers of a roe deer, and also has enlarged canines. So it sounds similar to the Walpa Ringer, except that it doesn't have the wings.
Right.
But this one is said to be shy, and it usually stays hidden, but it can be dangerous if cornered due to its antlers, and it'll try to take out your legs.
As it should.
There's another creature, again, from around the same area. This one is said to dwell in Saxony, which is a state in Germany. But this was described in many medieval and early Renaissance texts as being something that was actually real. And it was referred to as Lepus cornutus or cornutus. But basically it's translated to the horned hare. And a bunch of medieval and Renaissance historians and people that wrote books on natural history, things like that, would write about this. And it was said that it lived within Saxony in Germany. And it was believed throughout a lot of the Renaissance until the late 18th century, when it was finally generally considered to be a mythical creature, not an actual real creature. But one of the coolest ones that I've heard about was this legend from one of the indigenous tribes I believe they dwelt from the southern U.S. through Mexico and into Central America, but they're the Huichol tribe, or the Huichol people. But they have a legend saying that there were horned rabbits, and the horned rabbits were the creatures that gave deer their antlers.
Whoa.
So the rabbits had the antlers first, and they gave the antlers to the deer.
That's cool.
Yeah. And in the Aztec culture, both the deer and the rabbit were used as day signs on their calendar.
Day.
Yeah, so like on the calendar, that the day signs, it would be like a grouping of days. I think it was like 8 to 21 days typically.
I was going to ask you if you know of any other significance of rabbits. I mean, we've joked about it. We've seen old pictures of paintings of rabbits with swords, and there's even that one that had a sword with a red sash, and that's our dumb hashtag on Instagram. Rabbits of the red sash. It's weird to see them like that and hear about things like jackalopes existing in mythology. I wonder what the significance of a rabbit. Maybe it's like a sign of fertility, like you mentioned. They hump a lot.
Yeah, typically it is. Rabbits are used to signify fertility.
Okay.
That's why the Easter Bunny is there for, Easter being the festival of rebirth.
Right.
And rabbits are particularly fertile, so.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's also been reports of actual, real, living horned rabbits. One of the emperors of the Holy Roman Empire, Emperor Rudolph II, was said to have horned hares in his animal collection.
Oh, wow.
And the biography of a French scientist named Nicolas Claude Fabry de Piersec. No, yeah. Let's go with that. I probably mispronounced that. I don't know. I'm really terrible with French accents. But in his biography, he described visiting a woman in 1606 who had 2 horned hares. And by the time he visited her, one of them had died, but the other one was still alive. And he claimed to have witnessed it himself.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he saw a living one.
Right. Yeah. And there was a British naturalist named John Ray, and he claimed that a man by the name of Jean Vandermeer had the head of a horned hare in his museum next to other animals that were known, or parts of other animals that were known, like hippopotamus teeth and things like that, like just kind of like weird things from the animal kingdom. And he had a horned hare in his museum being displayed as being a real creature. And there was a German naturalist named Johann Christian Daniel von Schreiber, and he reported on and actually documented and sketched this set of antlers that was owned by Count Ludwig August Mellon, and the antlers were said to have been from a horned hare, and he reported that as though it were fact. And this was an actual horned hare antler set. But if we say that these sightings or reports are real, there is an actual natural reason that this could happen. That has nothing mythical or magical or paranormal about it. There's a specific virus that targets rabbits called Schopaloma Virus. And this virus, for some reason, it targets rabbits specifically, but it creates these horn-like protrusions that come from the skin of a rabbit. And typically it'll come out around the face and the head or the mouth of the rabbit, but it has been known to occur in other parts of the body. Now, these horns, they're actual horns. It's, made of keratin, just like most horns and antlers are. But it's just this weird virus that targets rabbits for some reason. And like, pictures of it I feel bad for the little guys. It looks like it's probably pretty painful.
Wow.
But that could be the origin for all of it. It's just this virus and people seeing. And in modern times, I believe that it targets cottontail rabbits specifically. But who's to say over, hundreds of years, maybe it used to target different populations. Maybe it extended to hares. Or maybe it was just other rabbits, and they just kind of, because it was a horned rabbit, it's like, oh, that's a hare. It's a horned hare. I know it is. It's hard to say, but I think that's likely what the entire origin of this whole thing is just, it started as like a weird mythical thing, and because it's a rare disease, if you saw one, it was like seeing fucking Bigfoot.
Wow, and that's gonna continue to be seen because it's gonna be passed down through genetics, right?
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I buy that as being the cause of the stories of it, especially if we're getting detailed accounts that, like the ones that you read of them being in people's collections, and people even seeing live ones. So maybe that's what's going on, and who knows? Maybe through crossbreeding and people keeping hares as food and pets at that time, like a heavy food source at that time, got to have been whole species that have been wiped out from then till now. So maybe there was other species that were more, had higher chances of having this genetic defect. So they saw it more than we do now.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it got bred out.
Right.
Rabbits do like to do that fucking after all.
Yeah.
Humping like bunnies.
As Mike has proven this evening, rabbits truly are horny.
Yeah, so wear those stovepipe on your legs so you don't get gored while they're trying to hump your leg while walking through the woods of Bavaria. Or Wyoming. Or South Dakota.
They're all over.
They're all over. They're just really horny because they can only procreate during lightning flashes, so they're really pent up pretty much at all times. So, if it hasn't stormed in your area and you're going out into the woods, do yourself a favor and get some protection.
Yeah.
Only you can prevent jackalope goring via leg humping.
Thank you for listening to the Whatcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube. Enjoy the podcast. Get yourself a Whatcast t-shirt or a sticker pack. Who was that dude on that one episode? Try the links in Homie's page. All this and more can be found at www.thewhatcasters.com. Thanks again for listening and have a great week.